the Waffle House has found a new host. So YouTube star Johnny Razor has been setting a trend on, I quote, a bad idea, where essentially users are commenting on videos saying the Waffle House has found its new host. And this is blowing up all over social media. And I took this one step even farther, and I decided to create a Waffle House in a tribute to this awesome trend, and to you, Johnny Razor, for setting this epic trend. Here is my Lego house to you. So let's go ahead and take a look and go through the journey of creating this for this trend.
A Waffle House?
A Waffle House.
No, don't.
Starting the Waffle House off, I really wanted to get the sign laid down. So I was actually working on the letters and ran out of pieces quite quickly. So I had to do some cutting with Lego, and that went as so. So when you run out of pieces, one by ones essentially, you're gonna have to do some cutting, and that's what we just did. So they don't look just as pure as normal Lego pieces. You can see they're not perfect, but you know what? This project's really cool, and I can't wait to finish it, so we're gonna go ahead and just do that. I don't recommend doing that, and do be careful with your handy dandy knives. So now that I had extra 1x1 Lego pieces in yellow, I was able to complete my sign for the Waffle House. Now, it is a little bit bigger than I initially intended, but I'm going to implement that into my design for the building a little bit different. So I needed some inspiration from some other buildings, and I got back to work by going through a lot of my Lego pieces just to see exactly what pieces I had and what I was going to work with. I think that was the hardest part, and it's a good thing I stay organized with Lego because there's so many different pieces that it's just hard for you to like know exactly what to build other than by doing trial and error. So I think that's probably my number one recommendation when building something like this. Trial and error, get the big pieces that you plan to use. Like I'm going to use these big window panes and these big gray pieces here for the sides, and then the windows of course going up. So the biggest challenge is using those, wall building pieces in that light bluish gray, getting them to stand up on the Lego base plate. So I'm going to have to do some modifications there. And I like the square use of it, and that'll be the exterior outer shell. And then on the corners, of course, I can add some detail to lock it in, but that's essentially how it's going to go. I ended up building an interior wall frame. So you could see how I just used those gray pieces on the exterior, and then you just have like your building on the inside. I added a door, and then it was now time to add the roof on top of the windows. And I did like a modular style build where it'll sit nicely on top. Added the sign at a 45-degree angle. And it's called Waffle House, of course, and I think it looks really good so far. Went ahead and added the street. It's at this time I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video. It's now time to design the interior, so I'm going to go ahead and place this whole base plate down inside there as soon as I finish finishing it off. So I'm thinking we add some tables, maybe switch it up to some booths, or even add a small kitchen in the corner just to give it some details. And of course, we need waffles. Okay, so for the interior, we have a small little kitchen. We have a booth with what fit up to definitely 4 to 6 minifigs. And then we have a nice little circular table that sits 3. And also we threw in a gumball machine. Utter failure so far. Let's try this again. It fits. It fits. Waffle House looking crisp. Pretty late night for me working on this, but it's looking really good. Check out the interior. I'm already in love with it. Now it's time to focus on the exterior. Excuse my ring light in the background as well as my Mac, but we got a pretty sweet looking Waffle House, and now we just have to finish the exterior, and I think we can call it and place it into the Lego City. Stay tuned. So after many hours of building, sorting, even cutting, we officially have our Waffle House, and there I am in my Porsche 911 Stud City. So this must be a high-end Waffle House because the Porsche Club looks to be meeting here, but here we have it. I want to take a full tour of my Waffle House and, of course, make a thread in the comments below because I did put a lot of effort in this, and all these Lego pieces are my own. I'm not sponsored by Lego in any way or form, and no one sponsored this video. So it would be awesome for the next one. If anyone is out there and wants to see more buildings following the trends, please let me know. But really quick, I want to just talk about the implementations and difficulties that I had while building this. I think one of the hardest parts was using and managing the pieces I have. I don't have a ton. I mean, it looks like I have a ton of Lego, but I don't have a ton of loose Legos, like I like to call it, or pieces that I get to work a width for my mocks, but I think I got super creative. I really like how I did the lettering. I think that was a really cool part for the Waffle House. Now you can see some parts that stick out, like this one on the, what is that, the EU. I actually had to cut Lego, as you saw earlier in the video, but you know what, it was all worth it because this thing came out pretty sweet, and I really enjoyed building this from the start to end. But I did have some inspiration for this build. Of course, Johnny Racer, who has this trend on the Waffle House, I used this picture because I thought it was a pretty good depiction of a Waffle House, and I made what I could do with it. I definitely did not have the pieces to do like the two signs on both sides, so I was like, you know what, let's get a building shell up that looks pretty good, then put it at a diagonal, and that way you can always see it from the right angle. And I think that came out really good, so that was a difficult part. One of the other interesting pieces about this build was the loose end for the outer structure. I thought it was a really cool way to use Lego. Now, it's not like super in place. As you can see, I'm shifting it around and moving it. It's actually locked into place very uniquely that I really want to showcase. If you can see, there's a 1x2 stud here, just kind of hanging out. This piece just moves out like so, and you can actually put that tile on there and kind of just clamp it down, and it just stays quite nicely. So I thought that was a really interesting building technique for the exterior. But enough of that, let's go ahead and look inside of this new Waffle House. So the roof comes off in a way that I call modular style. So essentially, I don't know what I just broke off there. Well, actually, you can see the lettering on the Waffle House sign is just loosely placed in there. And that was the best I could do under the circumstances of all the Lego pieces that I have. But the roof comes off in a modular style way, and it's tiled off quite nicely, as you can see. You can just see it just kind of places right on top and just sticks quite like so. But let's go ahead and flip the camera around and take a look at the interior and what I decided to do for my Waffle House. So it's a pretty simple design. You just walk in through the front door. You do have a kitchen that's fully detailed. I like the floor, and you of course have a cook. You have a stack of waffles, I guess, or pancakes, whatever you want to call them, just like little stuff you'll find in a kitchen. I don't really know how to make a Lego waffle, so I used one here. This is like a raspberry waffle, and that is just your regular mixed waffle. And then it looks like someone was eating one here and even left a $5 tip. That's some big bucks in today's world because, you know, things are getting expensive. And then, like I said earlier, we do have our 3-seat round table. I thought that came out really cool. And then I decided not to tile the floor just because the whole street tile was tiled. So, and then the other thing we added was a gumball machine, and overall the glass around the whole exterior came out quite nicely. And I think it looks, it gives it that Waffle House feel. If you like this video, let me know in the comments below. And of course, we're going to end this video the way we started. The Waffle House has found a new host.